Okay, you say something?
Hello.
Brilliant. Hello and welcome to the... Nope, I said the National Treasures podcast then. I've been doing a lot of National Treasures this week. There's a bird on my bird feeder. What is it?
Welcome to Lexx Education.
That's it, Lexx Education, that's where we are. Hello and welcome...
No, we're leaving that in.
What are we leaving in?
All of that.
No, that was garbage. This episode is already little plaque to our ineptitude.
Yeah, it's first episode back after Christmas. We're not going to be spot on. We're full of
trailing back in, having lost a glove on my way.
We're full of figgy pudding. We're a bit hungover and fat, and we're getting back into it.
Okay, well, good evening and welcome to Lexx Education, the comedy science podcast, where comedian me, Laura Lexx, and you could be listening to it anytime, remains forces with her brother Ron.
Remains forces?
What is it? Tries to learn science
Joins
from her...
forces is
Joins
what
forces. Yeah, I think that's what I was going for.
To be fair, we did do that 6 months ago, so we are remaining forces.
Yeah, I was right. Remains forces. Thank you very much, mocking me. I'm trying to learn science from my undermining brother Ron.
Hello, I'm Ron. I've been talking
Ron.
for a while now.
God, this is a shambles even by our standards. So, listeners, we have a confession to make. Yes.
Who has a confession to make?
On magpie. I love magpies. The magpie doesn't have a confession to make, but it just landed in my garden.
Magpies famously have a lot of confessions to make. Of all of the birds, they're the ones that have the things to apologise for.
No, that's true. They're little thieves, aren't they? But we stole their land. So, hey, have a shiny piece of tinfoil. No, listen. So you're listening to this. It's the first week back. What is it? The 3rd of January, something along those lines. And the world is slowly thawing out and returning to normal. We are recording this on the 16th of December. It should have been edited and sitting pretty in the little firing cannon that pegs these podcasts out to your ears. But somebody called Laura goofed, and instead of recording my audio and then in a separate channel Ron's audio, I just recorded my audio twice for this lesson. So when poor little Ronnie Honk sat down to edit it, there was just me, just the answers, none of the questions.
Yeah, yeah. I leave for Mexico in days. This is not good timing.
So we've had a little chat about what to do. Did we just release my audio only and you guess what the subject of the lesson was?
That'll go out on the Patreon.
Do we release my audio but with Ron desperately trying to fill in all the blank gaps with what he assumes he sighed and said back wearily in reply?
A higher tier on the Patreon.
Or do we do what we're doing, and that is to resit the exam? We are redoing the lesson. Now, in the spirit of fairness, I have completely forgotten everything that we did so that we can start this from a blank slate. I did that on purpose. I've left my notebook upstairs so that the notes can't jog my memory. The recording for the quiz, though, was fine. So I think we'll just leave that quiz as it was. Ron's giving me eyebrows about that.
Just thinking maybe we'll do it again. Side by side, like a match playback. See how you do on the second time doing it.
Let's see if I don't know the exact same things. Oh, Ron. I mean, maybe we're just gonna have one of those really nice lessons. You know, the ones where nothing's stupid and annoying and we just chat nice stuff.
I think what it will probably be is it will even out to be quite a standard lesson because I think we were both pretty cantanks last time.
Yeah, probably. So listen, we're sorry we haven't done socials chat for a couple of weeks, but we pre-recorded a lot of intros and outros pre-Christmas so that we could have a little break because Ronnie Honks is in Mexico, and I'm off for Christmas. So we will be back on whatever nonsense we've been tweeting you about. But if you miss interacting with us, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Maybe not Twitter, though, by the time this goes out, because, whoo, what a stinking rot fest that is. Ron, it really timed itself with you getting involved in Twitter.
It was instant after I started posting in earnest.
Yeah.
What a fucking dweeb. Honestly.
Don't get our podcast cancelled.
Fuck them. Honestly, what a little snot-nosed nerd. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's just... It makes me want to get him into some really good therapy, you know?
Oh, it makes me want to, like, give him some rubber bed sheets, because that man wets the bed. What an absolute dweeb.
I don't know if he even wets the bed. I reckon he's probably got some staff that have to make a little bed, like, on all fours underneath him, and then he just willfully pisses on them.
Nah, I reckon he's got a stinking little nest where you could snap the blanket in half if you needed to. No. Anyway, Happy New Year, everyone. We hope that your New Year wasn't pissy blankets. Stop wrapping up. We're cruising straight in. No, but
I know.
There's no division. We're straight into content.
What I'm mainly doing is putting off the lesson starting, because this is just going to be... And it's chemistry, isn't it? So it's going to be one of those shit, do a load of numbers, put them all over there. Oh, God.
If you want, instead, we could read through my D&D monster manual that I have next to me.
Did you just get a new book by any chance?
No, I've had this for some time. I'm a forever DM, you know. I'm the one that's always DMing. Other people do it sometimes, but it always comes back to me afterwards. None of them have
Do you
ever...
like that?
I love it, yeah, because I'm good at it.
I'd be so bad at DMing.
But I'm just waiting for the group to, like, buy me a nice book or something. I bought them dice once. Bought them all dice for a campaign.
Maybe you could run a monthly D&D session as a Patreon offering, Ron.
What, with patrons?
With the lab rats, yeah.
You have very low expectations of who's going to pay for this, do you?
What do you mean?
As in, like, what, are you expecting, like, 5 people?
Oh, you could do one with loads of people, couldn't you?
No?
No, all right then. Well, then throw that idea in the bin. Fine, just poo-poo everything. Let's do the lesson. Blung, blung, blung.
I'm going to move to my quiet chair for the lesson.
Why don't you do it before we start recording?
Fuck off!
You're such a little goblin. God, I'm in a bad mood today. Yeah, take your headphones out, get your shit chair and put it over there. Where's the fucking cat? Yeah? Oh, here comes the other chair. It was in the room the whole time. He could have done this. He wastes my time. He thinks because I don't have a day job that my time isn't important. Well, do you know what, buddy? In about 2 hours, I'm going to get on the road and drive to Essex and do some comedy for some people that largely don't give a shit that I'm there.
You talk about Christmas or something?
Yeah, I was just saying you waste my time, but then I realised that most of my life is people wasting my time, so it doesn't really matter. My gig last night was hilarious. I got there and I'd been booked to do 15 minutes at these like Christmas dinner event things.
Looked bougie.
It was so, like, there was like a man on a piano really high up in the air and Christmas lights everywhere, and I got booked for it and they said, oh, it's just 15 minutes after dinner. Once the pianist finishes, you do 15 minutes of comedy. And I said, that sounds fine. And then when I got there, the guy said, oh, just do 5 to 10. Just keep it snappy. And I was like, oh, 5? Oh, all right. I mean, fine. And then he said, oh, but you know, if after 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you're not feeling it, just come off. We'll pay you anyway. No one really likes the comedy at these things anyway. I was like, is this money laundering? What do you mean? Like, I can't just come off after 2 minutes and you just go, oh, well, we tried. Like, why are you putting comedy on if you don't want it to be playable? It was mad.
Did you see
But
any,
then I
like,
smashed it.
crying comedians in the green room or something? Like,
I've chatted to a few people that have done it because they've been running these dinners like all month. So I've chatted to quite a few of the guys that have done it, and they're all just like, yeah, like if you get the front 3 tables to look at you take that as a win and then just pocket the money and go home. So I was like, I knew what I was turning up to, but it makes me wonder why they put it on.
yeah. Okay. It wasn't like Lucy Porter had just been on and bombed. So, right, Laura, can you remember what today's lesson is on?
No, not at all. I did take a photo of the notes the other day because I got myself in a tangle about what notes I was supposed to be putting on social media. And I did notice that in pencil it said, I hate Ron on the notes. And there was a lot of zeros, which I think might have been us looking at moles or 10 to the power somethings. And it was like, hey, substitute your zeros out with this handy mulligan. But I can't remember what a mole's for or anything.
Yeah, so we are doing moles. What you're referring to there with the 10 to the power of, that's something that's called standard form.
Oh, that rings a bell, like SI units.
No.
No? Okay.
No. Again, it's
They're
SI
standard.
units.
Standard.
It's SI units.
SI units.
SI units.
Oh. SI units, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It stands for Standard International.
I remembered you saying standard. I remembered that you used to have to say it like that, standard. But I couldn't remember what the I was for. Baccalaureate.
Well, no, because you thought it was an R.
Standard International. That's the Scooby-Doo version.
Good. So,
I'm in a really bad mood, Ron, and I've just been smashing Ferrero Rocher to try and cheer myself up.
how's that going?
Yeah, it's fine. I had my favourite trash lunch today. I had corn nuggets just chopped up in noodles covered in soy sauce.
Ooh, I'll tell you a thing. Veggie fish fingers. Very good. I've been eating a sandwich, which I call the Brexit, which is fish fingers in a baguette, and it's amazing.
Well, even if you don't really like fish fingers, are they still good?
Judith even had some, and she liked it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can cook that for me when I come and see you in February. Boo, boo, boo. By the way, if you're a European listener, do look out for my European dates all across February. I'm coming on a little mini tour. Do, 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 do.
In a very specific corner of the country, of the continent.
I'm doing 6 dates. That's not bad for a comedian of my non-fame.
No, but it's France, the Netherlands, and...
Prague, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark?
Oh, that's way more than I thought it was. Because you only told me about the bits that, you wanted to stay here. So I thought it was just...
Yeah, I don't involve you where you're not needed, Ron.
You barely involved me in the planning of this. You didn't tell me when you were coming.
Or record your audio.
No. Is that why you deleted my audio, to cover up the tracks of where you didn't tell us about these dates?
I did tell you about the dates.
Fucking didn't.
It's in the WhatsApp. It is in the WhatsApp web in Miss Galabalo Posse. It is in there.
Yeah, from like a little while back. Anyway.
Oh, sorry. Do I have to remind you every day when we've got plans?
No, it's in like from when this resurfaced. But let's move on. We've barely started.
Well, that's fine.
So...
There's no pressure today because we've already done the quiz, so...
Yeah, we're going to be... I also haven't looked back into this, so it's lazy on both accounts. So, Laura...
There's nothing lazy from me. It's churlishness.
Just
for the listener, I want you to know I'm using a filter that gives me a massive Santa beard while we record this. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying my Santa beard. It's fuzzing out all the background and just making me a massive Santa face.
Maybe I'll tweet that out today.
What did you do?
I just took a screenshot.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You look wrapped up in a blanket like an old granny og.
Shut up. Watched a great Christmas movie yesterday.
Another one? You've
Yeah.
been really hitting the Christmas films this year, haven't you?
Yeah, Jude and I are watching all of like the Hallmark straight to Netflix ones.
Nice. Don't bother with the Noel Diary. It's unwatchable.
The Noel Diary, yeah, no, that one didn't.
I tried that. Gave up.
No, we watched A Miracle for Daisy.
Oh, that one popped up on mine today to ask me to watch it, but I said, I'm sorry. I'm knee-deep in Meghan and Harry.
Oh, God, I've muted the words Harry and Meghan and Harry on Twitter.
See, I don't care for royalty at all, and I largely don't really care for any actresses that aren't Sandra Bullock, but I kind of feel like it's my duty to behave like I adore every syllable that comes out of their mouths, just to be the anti Piers Morgan. He's crazy privileged, she's crazy privileged. It's not really anything interesting. I watched all of those documentaries back to back and sat through every one thinking, well, this isn't interesting at all, is it? Still watched it all.
Yeah, I couldn't give a fuck.
No, but Ron, you don't have to give a fuck. You just have to pretend you do to wind people up.
No. I'm so disinterested.
Hey, will you find me a Mexico treat from Mexico?
Yes, I'll bring you back a taco.
A taco?
Yeah.
I don't think that will last.
Wrap it in cling film, put it in the fridge as soon as I'm back.
No, I want a better treat than that, please. Not edible.
I'll get you a Chichen Itza death whistle.
Are you going to go scuba diving?
Not at Chichen Itza, I'm not.
No, but in the Mexican Sea.
No, I might go snorkeling. Probably won't go scuba diving.
You strike me as the sort of boy that would be scared of being under the sea.
I am not for scuba. No, I'm not scared of being under the sea. I love being under the sea. I love being in the sea.
You're scared of Hank Azaria stealing Judith while you try and learn to scuba.
Exactly. I would not be happy as an hippo. My ears hurt if I go too deep.
My ears hurt under the water. Get a little cap. Go in the sea. I want a photo of you in the sea.
No, yeah, I will go in the sea, but my ears
Head
hurt.
under as well. Head under.
No, my ears hurt if I dive down more than like a metre or two. No, more like 2 or 3 metres, my ears start hurting.
Is that because of your tinnitus? You should get medical help with that.
I did when I was a kid.
I don't think it's worked. You still have tinnitus and your ears hurt.
Well, yeah, because it was like you can have a cochlear implant or you can fuck off.
Get a cochlear implant then.
Why?
So that your ears don't hurt and you don't have tinnitus, you fucking dweeb.
Yeah, but I'd be taking that away from someone that's actually deaf.
No, I don't think you have to, punch a person out and steal their cochlea. They'll just get another one off someone else.
But I don't think that there are mounds of cochlears everywhere.
I think there are, yeah.
I don't think they are.
I think there are, Ron.
I don't think there are, Laura.
I think there are, Ron.
I haven't seen any.
Oh, well then they're not real. Good point.
Right, so do you remember what standard form, how it works?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to explain it back to me?
What it is, it's like sometimes, because of the way elements work, you have to do a sum that is 10 to the power 9 times 10 to the power minus 5. And it would be really messy and complicated to write out 6 million in numbers or whatever. So instead of that, you have these little numbers. I try not to look at you when I'm explaining. Your face just flinches. So instead of writing out big unwieldy trains of numbers, you just say 10 to the power 9 to 10 to the power minus 5, and then you can sort of, I'll just take the 5 off the little up the top 9. Oh, it's 10 to the 4 now. And then you just do it like that instead of having to write out a lot of ramble.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
When I'm listening like that, I'm not wincing because of what you said. It's more like I have to really listen for those kernels in there amongst the rambling.
What do you mean?
You learnt a bit of, what was it, Spanish on Duolingo, right, for ages?
Si, senor!
But you know, like when you don't know that much of a language, you have to really listen out for the words that you know and stuff, and like then sort of like the whole time you're piecing back together kind of the previous 10 seconds that you've heard to sort of string it together.
Yeah, but you know science language.
Yeah, not the way you do it is the thing. But yeah, no, that was broadly correct from what I understood of it. The only thing is that it's not necessarily something to do with elements all the time. That's just the context that we've learnt it in. It's just a way to deal with very large or very small numbers.
Right. Why are we doing it in chemistry then if it's not about...
Because it's not just about elements, but it is about... Standard form isn't just about elements. It's just a way of displaying very big or very small numbers. Can you think of a reason why in chemistry you would need to say very big or very small numbers?
Because everything's too small, so you have to use loads of them.
Exactly. Yeah, so either you're describing the size of something or you're describing how many of something there are.
And it's fucking loads because they're all really not actually things unless you've broken it down to look at it small times.
Exactly. Can you remember at all what a mole is?
Do you know what's really sad about this lesson? Is that it's months until there's going to be an interesting one.
Why?
Because there's no good holidays until, like, September, is there?
No, I'm going to sneeze.
Maybe we should do a Valentine's special. The Christmas specials were so fun, and so was Halloween. And then you just have to... Oh, it's 10 to the power 9.
Yeah, I think we will do a Valentine's Day special.
Yeah.
We'll learn about...
How do we have to breed babies to get them to fly?
Oh no. We'll do maybe like how different species attract a mate, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, what's happening in your flat? Stop sneezing.
I always sneeze multiple times.
Yeah, but this is too many. Have a word with yourself.
It would be, or we could do
Right, little germ fountain. Imagine if you got COVID now and couldn't go to Mexico.
I'd die. It's my edit. I wonder how much of this is going to make it.
You'd better cut every second of this shit. Stop! No! Pack it in.
Okay, right. Do you remember
Right,
what a mole
hopefully
is?
you'll have just heard a sting and now we're back. But oh my god, we just had like 25 minutes of sitting here while Ron scobbed up phlegm all over everything.
It wasn't that long.
That was disgusting and horrible. Oh my god, you can do another one! Oh my god, your tits are so covered in snot right now.
Glistening like a WWE wrestler.
That is the quietest you've ever drunk anything on the podcast, though.
Different bottle.
Well done.
Doesn't crackle when I unscrew it. It's a Chili's burnt orange. It's quite fashionable.
I haven't seen Ron drinks noisily on the Lab Rat Bingo yet.
Nah, they're They're not real fans. They don't listen for that stuff.
It is going to get to a point where we're not going to be sure if people are listening for the science, for the comedy, or just for a random collection of noises in the background.
Yeah, we're just going to turn into what is essentially a podcast pop it. It's just the same stuff going round and round.
Maybe the Patreon should just be Mackie and Gnocchi have a podcast together.
Oh, I wish I could see them scrap again.
Oh, we're never going to meet again. That's what breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Yikes!
Oof, downer. How long have we been recording?
So long! We haven't done anything yet.
How long
This
has it been?
is a slow slide into the new year, this is. It's been 26 minutes.
Fucking hell, I've only said the word mole twice.
Yeah, and I have been perfect and explained the whole thing. You haven't.
Okay. Right, so a mole... so a mole, otherwise known as Avogadro's constant...
Oh, yeah, him! He was a star? Was he a star?
Nope, this
Does he have anything to do with a star?
Nope, this is the only thing about him. Should we find out what Avogadro did apart from this?
It's something to do with stars. I can feel something about a star in me. Ding.
Oh my god, what a fucking creep! Ugh!
Is he gross?
He looks like a haunted Jim Henson thumb.
Oh. I would Google him, but I don't know how to spell avocados.
Hang on, let me send this to you. Maybe he, like his vague assonance namesake, like he was just a rock hard hunk for ages, and then just aged like that, and then he was just mush. Look at this guy.
Oh, no. Yeah, I just found the same picture. Ron's now sent it to me on the WhatsApp web. No. Oh, this is a man that had to be smart to survive.
Oh my god, look at his peers. Hang on, let me send you this.
Or this artist has never seen a human before and has really struggled with capturing how eyes do not bulge out of the head.
Look at these guys. That guy on the bottom's the most handsome man I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
He looks like a cross between Tsar Nicholas II and Kurt Russell as Santa Claus.
And Nick Offerman a bit.
All right, Joseph Loschmidt.
Whereas this guy looks like Elon Musk in a condom being pushed through a tube.
Yeah, I really hope that that's a bad artist, because, I mean, the hair's not doing him any favours, though, is it?
No.
He's got the hair of, like, someone that's mean at the beginning of a Dickens film.
It's very Dickensian. It's very Dickensian. Anywho, so this is Avogadro. He made Avogadro's constant.
Is that girlfriend of the podcast Judith in the background?
Stomping around, speaking to her friends, yeah?
Tell her to fuck off. Get her own podcast. I'm going to text her right now. Shut the fuck up, Judith.
So Avogadro's constant
What do you think she'd do if I just texted her saying, shut up, bitch?
I think she'd find it really funny.
Do you think she'd come bursting in and get furious?
No. Ugh, what's this?
I'll tell you off the podcast because it's mean to talk about it on the podcast.
Okay. So Avogadro's constant is
It's the last thing I sent Judith.
is 6.02 times 10 to the 23.
Oh, God. What does that mean, Ron? What is Avogadro's constant?
It's 6.02.
No, I mean, what is it? What does the point of that be? No, what does the point of that be? What is Avogadro's constant?
Let me get there, yeah? So
Just don't tell me it's 6.6 to the power 9, because that's not going to stay in my head until I know what it is.
well, we're not going to just say this and then move on. Like I'll tell you. So it's 6.02 times 10 to the 23. That's a 6.02 and then 21 zeros after it, basically. So what that means, what that gives you he calculated it by, that is the number of carbon-12 atoms in 12 grams
God.
of carbon-12.
Oh, this is ringing all those dusty jingle bells. Yeah, and carbon-12's like a completely fucking nonsense made-up thing as well, isn't it? That doesn't actually exist.
No. No, carbon-12 very much exists.
But doesn't it?
riddled
It's
with
like
it.
I've averaged 12 in a carbon. Nothing is, but think of them all are.
No.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
No, it isn't. This is just what happens when things go through the funhouse mirror version of your brain and then come out warped. Imagine how
You're just going to say warm then.
imagine how scary that would be if you looked in a funhouse mirror and then that's just what you looked like from then on.
What?
Like
I don't look that far off it. I'm quite
stretched or
short
something.
and wiggly. I already look like a funhouse mirror. Okay, what? Whoa, Jesus, I just don't even know how to start to pretend to be interested in this. So he found out how much carbon in 12 packs made up 12 grams, and then that was true of all the numbers, wasn't it? Like 9 carbon 9s make 9 grams if you Avogadro them.
Yeah, so carbon-12 is because we know that there are different isotopes of carbon. Yeah? Effectively, a different number of neutrons, aka
Yes.
the sound engineers.
Oh my God, yeah.
So there can be different numbers of
Isotope.
neutrons.
Isotope,
So you can have
refreshing your breath naturally.
So you can have carbon-12, you can have carbon-13, carbon-14, all these different things. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So,
Imagine a little street called Carbon Street, and then, I live at number 13, and there's 13 neutrons live near my house. Ooh, I'm carbon 13.
but there wouldn't be 13 neutrons, would there?
That's exactly what you just said.
No, because there are
Yes, you did.
protons as well, Laura.
You said an isotope
You
was
fucking
all about the number of
critic.
neutrons, which is the sound engineers. That is what you just said.
No, it varies because of the number of sound engineers. I did not say that was the number of sound engineers.
Me, you change it every time.
No, I don't. You just have the memory of a bag of sand.
I swear to God, you just said...
I said
No,
because they...
wait, because protons are the sound engineers.
No.
Neutrons are the sound desks.
No, that was never what it was.
Wasn't it? Which way around do they go
Electrons
then?
are the sad boys. Protons are Bob Marley. Then the neutrons are the sound engineers. There was never a sound desk.
Oh, maybe the nucleus was the sound desk.
No, protons and neutrons make the nucleus. They're not sat in a bucket. There's no physical thing.
I think it would be easier for me to picture it if they were.
But they're not. It's more like a bunch of grapes.
I don't like that there's nothing, you know?
Well, there's not nothing. There's protons and neutrons.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What?
It thinks your window is a is a face.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Hang on. Oh, there we go. It's caught my face again. Sorry, Ron, I was uncomfortable.
That's fine.
So, what's happening now?
So 12 grams of carbon-12. The number of carbon atoms in that is 6.02 times 10 to the 23.
All right, then.
What that effectively boils down to is how many protons or neutrons you need for a gram. Laura's just changing her filters and stuff now. Alright, I'm gonna breeze on. I'm bored.
I just don't know what you want me to do with that information, though. Do you know what I mean?
We have this discussion so much, and it always makes me wonder if I'm going mad. Like, what do I want you to do with this? But then I remember we're doing a fucking podcast. This is it. This is the content. This is what we're doing.
No, it's your job as a teacher to explain explain to me what I care about that for? What am I using that for?
Yeah, but you always expect that so immediately and just interrupt and like, so, why? What is it? Who cares? Oh, it's so small. Ah. And
I'm not from the East End. I don't know why you're doing my voice like that.
Oh, because you're just like a typical TV hag, just screaming about things. And it's just like sometimes just let me get there, and we'll find out later on.
Oh, fine then, mate. Here you go. Brilliant. Tell me the whole thing, and I'll save all my questions for the end.
No, that's not it. But
Oh, he's not happy again. You just don't know what you want. You don't know how you want me to be involved in this podcast.
I do. But do you understand the concept of 12 grams of carbon 12? Avogadro's constant. You understand that bit?
What do you mean by carbon 12?
Carbon 12
I thought that was about 12 neutrons, and then you got all shitty about that, so now I'm confused
it's
again.
about 12 neutrons and protons together.
Right. How do you know how many of each?
Well, because carbon always has the same number of protons, doesn't it? The number of protons defines the element.
Oh, okay.
We know this.
And then there's different isotopes of 12 of carbon.
Of carbon.
Depending on how many neutrons.
Exactly.
How many electrons does a carbon have? One?
As many as there are protons. A carbon atom, a carbon ion would have a varying number.
What? I thought you just said they always had the same number of electrons.
No, they always have the same number of protons.
Protons. Oh my god. Ron. You can't get so mad at me so quickly.
It's not been quick. We've been recording for like 45 minutes.
So hang on. Electrons are sad boys. Always has the same number of electrons.
No.
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 Electrons?
Are sad boys. They're on the outside. Protons, happy boys. Bob Marley's positive
Always
vibes.
has the same number of protons.
Yes. Yeah. A carbon always has the same number of protons.
But not all elements do.
Oh, well, if you remove a proton, it changes what element it is.
How do you get protons out of them?
You don't really, apart from in some types of radioactive decay, but don't worry about that. That doesn't matter. It's just the fact that the proton defines what element we're talking about.
I thought that was electrons because they're the ones in the shells.
No, electrons define whether something's an ion or not.
Sometimes I think we're making progress with this, and then sometimes you just change something that I thought we learned in the first one.
We learned this in the first chemistry episode, episode 2. Nothing has changed.
I think... Why did we learn all the shells and stuff then?
Because they're true, they're there, they're doing their job. It's just not this. They just don't define the element. They define whether something's an ion or not.
An ion is a charge.
An ion is a charged particle, yes. So you have a carbon atom, okay?
Sometimes the trouble with the way the syllabus is set up is that my brain is used to like novels and stuff where you meet the main character first and you hang everything off them. So now in my head, in an atom, the main character is the electrons because they're the first bit we did, but I don't think that that's true anymore.
I don't know even if they were the first bit we did.
Oh, I think they were.
I don't know. I haven't listened to the second episode in months. I probably
Right
won't
then, well
again.
they are my favourite bit and they are the main character of the atom.
Okay.
So, the periodic table, that lists how many protons a thing has, not electrons.
Yes, because the electrons is variable, because then you can have different ions of it.
Huh.
So, Avogadro's number...
Wait, but if a thing isn't an ion, it's
an
got the
atom.
same number of
Yes.
protons. So the periodic table does tell you how many electrons.
For atoms, yes, but the number of electrons doesn't define what element it is. The number of protons does.
It doesn't define you. That's nice. Okay, so I can remember that your sadness doesn't define you. Electrons do not define the element.
That might be counterintuitive for you,
Why?
because your sadness defines you.
That was really mean. I'm going to be sad for days now. Oh.
I'm sorry for calling you a classic TV hack.
You're really starting the new year by being a vicious little shit, aren't you?
Well, I'm still pre-holiday at this point. It'll be nice vibes when I
You're all
get
giddy and tightly wound. Maybe you'll come home from Mexico, like, really chilled. Don't think you will.
No, probs not. Right, so, do you understand what an atom is now?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So, you understand what carbon-12 is? That sounds like a situation.
It's all right. It's just, well, the reason I looked out the window there was the postman was walking past, but she's going mad, presumably because he's not bringing us post. He's either a scab and she's furious about it, or she's very anti-strikes and she's like, where's our fucking post? I don't know which one she is. But what did you say? Do I understand what carbon-12 is? So carbon-12 is a carbon atom where the protons and neutrons add up to 12.
Yes, exactly. Now, in actuality, you like a mass of carbon that you have is going to be it's going to be a spectrum of different types of carbon atoms.
I told you it didn't really exist.
But it does exist.
But this is this bullshit I was talking about. Hey, yeah, it is nonsense, isn't it? Come on, just be quiet, please. We're doing a downstairs record today, but I didn't sit by the fruit bowl to help you out, Ron.
That's nice. Carbon-12 does exist, though.
Yeah, but it's one of these parts of it where you say, oh, this is all about carbon-12, but just bear in mind, there's only one carbon-12 in there. The rest of them are anywhere between 18 and 4, but we just call it 12. Just call it 12. Have a little 12.
No.
Have some 12. Call it 12. There you go. Can't possibly know what they all are, so we just call it 12.
But we don't just call it 12.
All right, you finish your sentence then and we'll see if you're about to just call something 12 that's not all 12s.
No, but we don't... Like I just said, when you have some carbon, there is a range of different carbons in it. But Avogadro's number is how many carbon-12 atoms you would need to have 12 grams of carbon-12. Whether you could get 12 grams of just carbon-12 altogether at once is irrelevant. That fact is still true.
Yeah, lovely. But if you can't ever get load of carbon-12s, why did he get a book deal to tell us all about this number he'd made up? It's like me saying, it's a tailor for tropical fish. Now listen, whether you can actually get a tropical fish into a dress is irrelevant, sir. But the fact remains, I have created a tailor for tropical fish. Good day.
Now, if this was the first time we were going through this, maybe I'd forgive you that question. Maybe I did last time.
We'll never know.
But you know why this is useful.
I honestly can't remember.
So, we know this number. That is how much carbon-12 you need to make.
double one.
Laura, focus up for a bit because
that's a number I know.
I'm cross.
You are cross, but I actually think it's your fault you're cross.
Shut up. So we know how much carbon-12 we need to make 12 grams of it. However, we also know what the average weight of a carbon atom is. It's the number that's on your periodic table.
Yeah, I don't have that with me today, though. It's upstairs, so that I didn't cheat this lesson by having my notes.
Not super helpful of you, but that's fine. So we know that as well. So what we can do...
It?
Pardon?
I just don't think this lesson would have been very good if I wasn't learning all of
No,
this
but you
fresh.
could have looked at different pages. You could have written on a blank piece of paper. You could have still used the periodic table, which presumably you didn't write the notes for this lesson on.
But, yeah. But
What
I
are
don't
you
need
doing? Are you combing a tree?
I'm deadheading a plant. I don't need to make notes. We've already done the quiz. I'm already a genius, probably, or a failure, depending on how it went.
I mean, I will back you up that you don't need to make notes, because apparently making them does not get them into the old brain box at all.
We've known that for ages.
Yeah, but... fine. Okay, let's move on. I think you
Wait,
understand...
did we finish that?
I think you understand... Do you understand what Avogadro's constant is now?
Yes.
Do you want to repeat it back to me?
How many carbon 12s do you have to make 12 grams of carbon? It's 6 point whatever it was to the power whatever it was.
Yep. How many beryllium 5s do you need to have 5 grams of beryllium 5?
Avocado's constant.
Yep. How many helium 4s do you need to have 4 grams of helium 4?
Samesies.
How many carbon 12s do you need to have 24 grams of carbon 12?
2 Avogadros.
Yes, I think you get it now.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to move on to using this in equations, all right?
Okay, here we go.
So, Avogadro's constant, or a mole, is just a number like a dozen, right?
Mole.
So, we are going to use sugar. Okay? We're going to work out.
Oh, honey, honey.
We're going to work out.
Ooh, you are my candy girl.
We're going to work out how many moles of sugar there are in a kilogram of sugar, okay?
Oh, yeah, this rings a bell. Loads.
So not that many.
I have to work out the weight of...
Yeah, so the chemical formula for sugar is C6H12O6.
Shall I write that down? I'm opening up my flour press. Look at this cool flour that I pressed. Can you see that?
No.
God, here he goes again.
C6H12O6.
Can you see it now?
C6H12O6.
It's because the filter is getting in the way.
C6H12O6.
Oh, look at that now. You can't see-
C6H12O6.
Ron, I'm trying to show you my flour. Oh, the butt of my flour is so stuck to the paper. Hang on. Woo. C6H12O6.
Yeah.
C6H12. You're going to have to make notes, Ron, because I haven't got my notepad.
I'm not going to do that.
Me neither. No, I will. Hang on. I'm going to have to rearrange my microphone again, though, because I'm just sort of sitting, kneeling up like a
We've been
child.
going for like an hour.
What do you mean?
We've been recording for about an hour.
Yeah. I told you I wasn't going to make notes.
Okay, don't then. We'll just cruise through it.
Well,
So-
but if you're going to ask me to work out sums, I can't work them out in my head, can I? You're being really horrible today.
No, I think because you fucked up recording the last time we did this, somehow you think now this time you don't have to do any work.
No, I'm here doing the work.
Well, you decided you just weren't going to take notes.
Ron, why would I make notes?
Because you have to do a fucking calculation, you hag. You need to write things.
Stop calling me a hag. You are so rude. I've written it down. C6H12O6. Brilliant.
Right, how much does it weigh?
I don't know.
What's the molar mass of sugar?
Well, don't know. I don't know what carbon that is. Is that carbon 12?
Well, you use the average, don't you?
I don't know, Ron.
Well, look at a periodic table. Get the weights off that.
Right, you be right. Pack this in, actually, because we weren't even talking about this a second ago, and now you're being snappy, trying to get me to do something completely different. Start this
I
again.
seem to remember debating with you how much different elements weighed for some time.
What do you mean?
We were talking about how much stuff weighed the whole lesson. That's what moles is about. We were only discussing elements. Yes, you need a periodic table.
We were talking about that 12 stuff.
Yeah, which is...
That doesn't tell you how much sugar weighs.
It does when there's carbons in it.
I feel sometimes like you are a fucking, sphinx. What are you talking about? Genuinely, and I'm not even taking the piss here, what we've been talking about today, from that I'm supposed to be able to work out what sugar weighs.
No, from a periodic table. And from 6 months of context.
Oh, stop throwing context at me. So what the fuck does carbon weigh? Oh my
Look
god.
at a periodic table.
I'm looking at a periodic table. Oh my god, you make me so angry. You make me so angry.
You make me despondent.
You make me furious. I'm looking at a periodic table. It says 6. Does it weigh 6?
What's 6?
I don't know, Ron. That's why I'm asking you. Is that the weight of it?
What numbers are there in hydrogen?
Hydrogen.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Okay, what numbers in helium?
2.
What numbers in beryllium?
4.
What numbers in lithium?
3.
What about boron?
5.
What about carbon?
So that's the weight. They all get a bit bigger as you add more.
No. No, it's not the weight.
Oh my gosh, you're so spittingly angry.
Because do you remember that each element is effectively when it has one more proton?
No,
The proton defines the element.
you're not defined by your sadness.
No, you're defined by the positivity in your core.
So is that how many protons they have?
Yes, that's why it counts
Okay.
up from 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you're being lippy.
I am being lippy.
Yeah, moderate your tone.
No, you're being shit.
I'm trying to learn.
Okay, so what other numbers are there? I think there's only one other one.
Yeah. So, hydrogen's got basically a 1, but it's 1.0078.
So what do you think that is?
Is that the weight? Fucking please tell me that's the weight.
That
or
is
that
the weight.
The
Why is it a
Special
decimal?
International Caribbean number?
Why do you think that's a decimal, not a whole round number?
Because all of this is estimated garbage.
No, because it's averages.
Same
Because of the
thing.
isotopes. No, it's not the same thing. You cantankerous witch.
Ooh, I've upgraded from a hag. We're still outcast women, but now I've got powers. Okay, so hydrogen weighs 1.
Isn't it funny how many cryptids are based off just women that didn't want to hang out with you anymore?
Yeah. Just women that were tired of being raped and murdered, tried to go live on their own. We should burn her. Yeah, 100%. Do you know, the whole idea of a witch and the way they look, with the broomstick and the hat and stuff, it's because they were brewers, and brewing was one of the first occupations that, women kind of got into and got real good at, and then men got
cooking.
Suspicious. Yeah, and
Women
we're good
love
at
cooking.
that. First we were brewers, and then we were sandwich makers. Mackie, I can't fight with you and Ron at the same time. Oh my god, this lesson is like a fever dream. Every time I think we're doing one thing, you suddenly go, no, haven't mentioned that at all. And there's a small dog trying to eat me. Oh my god. Right, 1.0078.
Okay, so what's the weight of carbon?
Is that not what that was? No, carbon is the C. 12.011.
Okay, so the chemical equation for sugar is C6H12. H12O6.
Yes.
How much does sugar weigh?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you calculate that for me, please?
So I've got to do just that's basics, isn't it? C times
There we
6.
go, yes.
All you had to do was teach me well, and I'd have got there.
I'm not a teacher. I'm not good
Well,
at
I'm not
this.
a scientist,
No,
so
we're
if
bad
you
at this.
expect me to be a scientist,
No.
times. You're gonna have to edit out some thinking time here. Like he stood on my foot. Right, carbon is 72. Point. Oh, I could work that out probably actually. 72.0. No, wait, because I've multiplied that by 12. Oh my god, I'm dumb. What was it? C6H12O6.
6.
Ugh. So 12.011 times 6. Come on, silly sausage. Oh no, that was right. I had done that right. Sometimes I doubt myself, Ron.
Yeah, fair.
You're rude. 1.0078. God, this does not bode well for the exam that we've done this episode within a month, and now here we are doing it again, shouting.
Oh, the exam's going to be a bloodbath.
Do you know what I hate about my calculator?
The fact that you have to use it.
I do hate that too. But can you be a little bit kinder? No, I hate that the dots, the decimal places are commas.
Yeah, that is weird.
15.999 old oxygen's taking up. I'm surprised too, Mackie. Times 6. 95. He's a heavy bugger. 95.994. What is this? Milligrams?
No, it's relative mass.
Oh my god, even this isn't a real thing.
Well, no, but Avogadro's
180!
Avogadro's constant is kind of the converter between relative mass and grams.
Alright. 180.1, Ron.
Okay, cool. How many moles of sugar are there in a kilogram of sugar?
What?
How many moles of sugar are there in a kilogram of sugar?
I don't know, Ron.
Yeah, you've got to calculate it with your calculator.
I don't know how to do that.
How many moles are there in 12 grams of carbon-12?
1.
Okay. So, if I had a mole of sugar, how much would it weigh?
1.
1 what?
No, 180 grams?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so how many moles do I have in a kilogram?
Just over 5.
Yep, do you want to calculate that?
How do I calculate that? 1,000 divided by 180. That would do it? That would do it. No, not 182. 180. 0.1. 5.55.
That sounds about right. Cool, yeah, well done. Cool beans. So we can use this when we're talking about equations as well, okay?
Okay.
So we can use this to balance equations. So
would you ever have like a scoop that picks up a mole?
well, you could, but it would only work for one substance, wouldn't it?
I just don't understand how this is ever useful. It's all just theoretical, isn't it?
I think what I said just now, it's the converter between relative mass and the actual weight of the thing.
Okay. I just didn't understand that bit when you said that.
Do you remember what relative mass is?
No.
Okay, so
I probably
We need-
made a joke about, like, your aunts and uncles going to communion.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So we need a way to talk about how much atoms weigh. But as we can see from Avogadro's constant, we would have to be saying like, okay, so that's 0.00, that's 0.8 times 10 to the minus 23 all the time, plus something else times 10 to the minus 3. It would be tiny, 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 yeah?
Yeah.
To a point that would be frustrating and difficult to do.
But Ron, I find this tiny and frustrating to do.
Yes, but there are much greater minds on the job.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Dad was telling me about nuclear fusion this weekend.
Oh,
And I thought,
God
I'm
bless
so
him.
glad there's people out there that can do that. They've had a
Yeah.
breakthrough with it, Ron.
Oh, interesting. What, cold fusion?
Nuclear fusion.
Okay, I don't think
Basically,
this is a
for the
rich
first-
well of conversation.
Well, this was an idea I had actually for another type of Patreon episode, which was where Dad brings us something from the news about science and tells us both about it.
Oh, agony
And then
dad.
you two have a chat while I sit there.
Aw, agony dad.
I'd like to get Dad on the podcast, and then everybody will understand why you are the way you are.
Yeah. I've started saying ta-ra at the end of phone conversations with people at work. Which is a very dad thing to do.
Do you ever answer the phone and go, "Watcha"?
No, not picked that one up.
I call people git-face.
I called you a crimmet earlier.
Yeah, you did. I picked up crimmet. That's a dadism.
That's a dadism.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we can use moles when we're talking about different equations that we're doing, right? So, for example, if we were reacting magnesium with hydrochloric acid,
Yeah.
we would say Mg, magnesium, plus,
OMG!
plus 2,
Was that gnocchi in the background?
yeah,
She really liked my joke.
plus 2 HCl equals...
Should I be writing this down? You're
No,
leaving
no, no, no,
pauses.
no, 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 no,
okay.
no, no, no. You'll need to write something down in a bit, so don't eat your pen or something.
I haven't got a pen.
Equals
I'm doing it in a Word document, or a Pages document, technically.
equals MgCl2, so that's magnesium with 2 chlorines.
Do, 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 do. That was by MgCl2.
Plus H2, okay? So hydrogen gas.
Yeah.
So what you can say, you can use moles for this, and you can say, right, so we need 2 moles of HCl for every 1 mole of magnesium that we have.
Do you reckon in the curriculum on BBC Bite Size, is there an illustration of a mole bringing these things around?
I don't know, maybe we could have a cartoon of like a mole just hanging itself.
Oh, that's bleak.
Yeah, this episode's quite bleak.
Maybe the lost tape was the most joyous. Maybe I really got it.
No, because I'm suffering from an intense and dangerous sense of deja vu.
That's sad for you.
I also can't really see your face. I can just see your shoulder looking at the
Why can't you see my
miserable
face?
Christmas scene.
Am I not? Oh,
You're not
you've got your phone
centred.
weird.
No.
Do I have to sit in the middle for you to see me? Hang on, I'll move my laptop.
Wait, where was it pointing before?
At me, I was fully on the screen as far as I was
No,
concerned.
no, I've just been looking at your shoulder for the last
that's
hour and
good.
20 minutes.
I wondered why you weren't telling me off for looking at my phone and stuff.
Oh, I've given up.
Ron, it's New Year, New Us. Don't give up. Help me.
You can't say that when we're literally re-recording an episode.
We could have pretended we weren't and lied to the listeners. That's just not who we are.
No, but we're not talented actors. Like,
I am.
no, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Ron, that's literally half my livelihood. I'm a very talented actor.
I've never seen you act in anything.
Well, that's because you don't support me in my endeavours.
Fuck off.
You've never seen me act in anything.
I don't think so.
Why not?
What have you acted in?
Oh, all sorts. You came to see.
Ink
What's
that you directed?
No, and I was in one version.
Oh,
of
I
it.
saw you in The Importance of Being Earnest.
Yeah, thank you, and I was brilliant.
Yes. Good play, that.
And performance.
Yeah, performance.
You curly-headed fuck.
Right. Okay. So do you understand what I just said there?
Yeah.
Do you remember
yeah.
what I just said?
Yeah.
So we can say we need 2 moles of HCl for every 1 mole of magnesium.
Yeah.
Why that's useful is because, focus up.
Yeah.
Why that's useful is because we can use Avogadro's constant to turn those moles into amounts, right?
Turn that mole upside full.
So I can't remember exactly what the weight of magnesium is, but we could you would then know that for every 23 grams of magnesium, you need 40 grams of HCl.
Okay.
Do you understand that? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you understand how that is a practical application of this?
Yeah.
All right. You're not being convincing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's a bit like if I'm making a cake and I haven't got the exact recipe, but I've quickly got to make a cake. Knowing roughly how much butter to flour goes into a cake is helpful. And maybe I could say moles during that.
It's
Yeah?
not really. It's kind of. Okay, so we're going to calculate one of these now.
No. So, yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah, so the moles in this sense, that's kind of a ratio, and then Avogadro's constant lets you convert between the moles and the weight of and how much of it you physically need.
Okay.
So, because we know we need 2 moles of HCl for every 1 mole of magnesium,
Yeah.
we can use Avogadro's constant to turn on that into weights. So then, when we're actually doing this in a lab or something, we'd know if we had 1 gram of magnesium, how much of acid we'd need to react with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do one of these now. So if you don't understand it, say now.
But Ron, I don't understand it, but we simply can't say the same thing for the 4th time this episode. So I don't know what to do. I'm torn somewhere between loving you and respecting you, wanting to make a good podcast, and having no idea what you're talking about.
I don't understand how you don't get that.
I know you don't, but it's because every time you explain it, I just hear beaker coming out of your face. That is the bridge between theory and kilograms, and it's
How much does a mole of
6.0.
magnesium weigh?
I don't know.
Well, look at a periodic fucking table.
What do you mean?
Look at a periodic table and tell me how much a mole of magnesium weighs.
Do you hear yourself? Ron!
Laura,
I'm going to my periodic table, you piece
Yeah, but
of shit.
don't act like I'm asking you to do something crazy. I'm asking you to read out a fucking number.
Oh, I can't remember every time that it's that number. It's 24 grams.
Okay, brilliant.
Brilliant.
How much does 2 moles of HCl weigh? You might have to add a number there and then multiply it by 2.
So basically 1 plus 12. 26 grams,
Okay, yeah.
roughly.
So so we know what equation we want to do.
Yeah, but what do you mean by mole? What is... I don't understand why... Oh, God, I don't want to do this anymore.
Laura, this is the first time in our podcast's history where we actually have a set amount that we need to do because we've done the quiz. So unfortunately, this was going to be a January bumper episode because we have to get through this.
You haven't got time to edit it before you go to Mexico, buddy.
I do very little editing.
You should do more.
Shut up.
It's not slick.
Shut up.
Woohoo!
But
Creep. That's crickets.
But that's a practical application because we've turned it into the physical amount of the thing that you would need. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So
What
we're
did
gonna.
that have to do with 6.00 though? understand and completely accept that whatever the weight of something is, you say, oh, a mole of it is that many grams. Mm-hmm. How does that bring you to 6 point?
Because that's how many of those atoms there are.
Always. And it always just makes up that many grams.
Yes!
That's wild.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Maths is fucking bananas, isn't it?
Jesus. Yes, we're going to do one of these now.
We've done one. We did sugar.
No, that was nothing. We're going to do one of these now.
What the fuck did we do it for then?
To learn, to build. But it's like trying to build a house out of Angel Delight. Everything you slop on just spreads out.
Imagine how I feel.
Oh, like you're just getting Angel Delight rained down on you all the time.
It's really sad not just understanding it. Imagine the delights of the universe that are evading me.
I don't know. I think Dunning-Kruger effect takes hold at some point.
I don't think it does. I've never claimed to be good at science.
No, true, but maybe like a Dunning-Kruger effect of joy. No, but you're sad. Anyway.
I think it's opposite of Dunning-Kruger. I think I so don't understand things.
Kruger-Dunning.
When you start explaining something, my brain just goes, you're thick, you don't get this, stop listening.
Yeah, I think you sit right in that trough, the trough of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I'm the hyphen between Dunning and Kruger.
Just smart enough to know how stupid you are. Right, so, Laura, get your tippity types ready because we're doing a thing. We have
all the way to the birdie boiler.
60.14 grams of C2H6.
Whoa! 62 grams of what?
60.14 grams.
14 grams of
C2H6, otherwise known as ethane.
Ethane.
Methane's slightly bigger brother. We're going to burn...
Cowherps.
That's methane. So we're going to burn that in oxygen completely, okay?
All right.
So that's going to take us 223.99 grams of oxygen.
223.99 grams of oxygen.
Now, how does oxygen exist as a gas?
Car rave. What do you mean exist as a gas? In pairs? In pairs.
O2, yeah, like
O2.
the phone provider.
Yeah.
When we burn this, we're going to get 176.04 grams of CO2.
Yep.
And 108...
See, in a minute, he's going to leave one more bit of information and then go, so untangle that, and sit back in his chair. And then when I say I don't know what you mean or how to do that, he's going to go...
I'm going to be really nice throughout this whole equation.
I'm going to be nice back.
And then we also get 108.09 grams of H2O.
I've written all of that down.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out the balanced equation here using these weights.
Okay.
So do you remember with our example before where we did HCl and magnesium? Do you remember that?
No. What did we do?
We did a little example before. We were talking about HCl reacting with magnesium. Do you remember we needed 2 moles of HCl for every 1 mole of magnesium?
No.
You don't remember that?
I remember looking at those and I just added them together and told you.
So you do remember it then? Do you remember that?
HCl.
Are you there? Do you know who I am?
No, I don't remember talking about chlorine.
Do you know who I am? I'm Ron. I'm your brother. We're doing a podcast. Do you know where you are? Are you at home? You've got a background on. Are you lost?
No, but we didn't talk about chlorine because that's 35.453. I haven't looked at that number today.
It was HCl. You should have looked at it. I asked multiple
I think I picked
times.
the wrong number.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't matter. Now we're getting caught in cobwebs we've
I think
already
I
run
looked
through.
at just carbon. I just did HC.
Oh, okay.
listening and checking my answers then, are you?
No, this is the second time we've done this. Right, Laura. So
Yeah.
we have the weights of all of these things that we're making. Step 1, could you hazard a guess as to what step 1's going to be to working out this puzzle?
Don't pick up the phone. You only know he bothers you when you're drunk and alone.
Don't get that reference. No, so
Step 2, don't let him in. You'll have to kick him out again.
with all of the other ones that we've done, we've had to
Dua
work...
Lipa, new rules.
I don't know that. We had to work out the relative mass of everything, didn't we?
Yes.
So maybe we have to do that now.
While I do that, can you quickly summarise for the listener what relative mass was?
I'm not going to do that. We've done it. You did it for HCl, you did it for magnesium, and you've done it for sugar. I think you should be able to do this. And if you can't, I think you need to have a long look at yourself and how you're applying yourself.
I'm not sure I am applying myself.
No, exactly.
So... Ron, forgive me, but I do not know what you want me to do.
Can we stop? Can we just stop? We've already done the quiz. It doesn't matter if we go through this. You're going to forget it anyway.
I want to know, Ron.
I don't care to tell you anymore.
I've just forgotten what relative mass meant.
But we have talked about this several times this episode and
I
done
know
it in
we
previous
have.
episodes.
I know. So C is 12. 2 12s is 24. H is 1. 6 of those, that's 6. So let's call that 30. So if I've got 60 grams of it, I've got 2 moles.
There we go.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was it. You did it. See, you panic, but you know it.
I just need you to be kind to me while I do
I was
it.
being really kind.
You weren't. You were sitting, holding the bridge of your nose, staring at the floor, while
To be
Milky
honest, Laura,
sounded
though,
sad in the background.
That's when you got something right. When I was being kind, you weren't doing it.
You haven't been kind yet.
I was kind. I was kind for ages. Okay, now the next one. That was good work. Well done.
Yeah, I agree, actually, babes. Right, oxygen, let's call that 16. It's roughly 16. But it's in a 2, so maybe 32? Let's call it a 32. Then let's divide 223 by 32. Let's call that 7. 7 moles of oxygen?
Probably.
Well, if you're not even going to check it, how do I know if I'm getting it right?
You are, based off what you've said.
12 for carbon. I know you need to go out, Mackie, but I'm trying to learn this fucking nonsense. 32, so let's call that 48.
This, Laura, is
What?
why we don't record intros, outros after we've done an episode, because we are going to be angry now in those intros, outros.
Yeah, well, whose fault is that? I know, Pud. I know. 3.7 moles? That doesn't feel right. All the others have been round numbers. Oh, Mackie! Quiet my beans, please. 18.
What do we do?
Right, let's call that 6 moles. Right, one of these feels wrong, Ron. So, I've got 2 moles of whatever, ethane, 7 moles of oxygen, 3.7 moles of CO2, and then 6 moles of H2O. And I've got to go and let the dog out now. So you talk the listener through whether that was right or not.
I don't have the answers written down.
Well, fucking hell!
Now time for the quiz.
So what, is that done now then?
Yeah, let's call it.
Imagine if we did this episode last time and it just went really well, and now we're going to bounce into a quiz where we're like, hey buddy, remember last time when all the numbers
Laura,
made
by
such clear
about
sense?
50%, this is going to be our longest episode ever. We've been recording for an hour and a half, and we've got the quiz to go on top.
Yeah. All right then. Well, enjoy that quiz. I bet I smashed it.
We were different people.
Love you, Ron.
Bye.
Oh, Ronnie, you came and you gave me a quiz. And I was brilliant at it. Oh, Ronnie. Absolutely nothing. He's got nothing. He hated it so much, he's got nothing.
No, I was going to reply with my own musical parody.
Please do.
Maybe a quiz with Laura. She got top marks. Yeah, that's as far as I got.
It was good. It was good. It was worth that bit where you just stared at me down the camera for a second. Now, Ron, in a fun turn of events, I've not looked at my notepad yet, so that when you say, what did we study last time, I've not checked the notepad.
Yeah, fucking suspicious that you've done this on the week where we're recording 2 episodes in 1 week, Laura Jacques. It's only been a few days.
Yeah, which makes it worse that I am racking my brains. I've got no idea. We studied... Moles! Moles!
Yes.
Yes. And we were texting about it yesterday.
Genuinely cross during that record.
Do you know what? I think it's chemistry's been getting our backs up lately because I was editing the chemistry before moles yesterday, and I think it is the least proud of myself I've been in an episode. Listening to it back. I can hear in my voice, I'm really sure you're being horrible to me. You are not.
Yeah, when you messaged me about that, I was like, I'm quite certain I started that episode by apologising to you
did, yeah.
because I hadn't explained something very well, but in this lesson we were going to go through it, and then you were a petulant bag of dirt.
I was, yeah. So obviously moles was going to be stressful after that because you'd had a bad one, I'd had a bad one, then we both had a bad one.
So, question number 1. What's a mole, Laura?
Okay, a mole is a number. It's a really big number, 6 trillion billion, that kind of big. And it represents the number of an atom that you need to weigh the number of grams that atom is called. For example, 1 mole equals how many carbon 12s you need to be 12 grams.
You know what, Laura? That was such a good answer. I'll give you 2 marks for it.
Yes!
How much would 5 moles of beryllium weigh?
Beryllium what?
Let's just say you've got a lump of beryllium. So you don't know. 5
moles.
5 moles
that.
of beryllium.
So, oh my God, I don't know. So the average weight, beryllium is 9.01 on my periodic table. So I'm going to say, let's just multiply that by 5. So I'm going to say 45 grams.
Yeah, 45.05.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay, another mark. And then finally, you'll need probably paper and a pen and a calculator and your periodic table for this one.
It's going a bit well, everyone. Okay.
Okay. Write down this reaction, please.
Surprised! So I just draw some emojis. Livid.
P4O10.
Actual
That's
P
one
or that
molecule.
little Roy guy?
No, that's called row. So I'd have said row if I meant row. No, this is a P. It's also a different discipline. That was physics.
P4O10.
So P... Yep, so that's one molecule plus 6 H2O.
Plus 6 H2O. Yeah.
That's water. Equals...
Yeah.
4 H3PO4.
H3...
PO4.
Okay.
And that's 4 H3PO4, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If we had a kilogram
Jesus.
of P4O10, how much water would we need to react with all of it in this reaction?
The wheels came smashing off. I just noticed in my notes I've just written I hate Ron.
That's not very nice.
No, but I've written it in pencil where the rest of the notes are in pen. So I clearly intended
is that because
to
I
rub
made-
it out at some point.
No, that's because I asked you to get a pencil at some point and you got angry at me because you got a pencil and you could have just used a pen.
Oh, yeah. My God. All right, okay. What are we talking about here then? So I've got a kilogram of P4O10.
Yup.
And what do you want to know? How much water I need then?
Yes. We can do this a little bit together, though, because this is a bit different to the ones we went through last week. What do you reckon the first step is?
The first step. I really want to try hard. But, okay, so here's a feeling I get when something like this happens. That I hate feeling stupid and I hate not being good at things. So my instinct is just to run away from this without trying. So that if I didn't try, I never tried. I didn't fail. You know?
Sure. Okay. But let's not do that. Because we're deep into this podcast now. How about this? Why don't you think about what we were talking about last week and apply that as a bit of context just to the first step of what we might need to do.
So
we have the weight
first
of
thing we need to do
how much we've
is
got, and we've got its chemical makeup.
convert the P4 into badgers with nuts. As I recall, that's what we spend a lot of time working
Yes,
on.
it was a shit analogy that didn't
Well, that's
work.
because I'd misunderstood at the time. What is P?
Phosphorus.
Phosphorescence. Ah, like when you swam in Greece and your fingers went pink.
It didn't go pink.
I don't know. I wasn't invited on that holiday.
No, it didn't want you there. You're a lot.
Oh my God. Right, so let's break it down. P weighs 30.97. Let's find out what everything weighs. That feels like a start, doesn't it? O weighs 16, I believe. Just know that off the top of my head. H weighs 1.008. And that's everything that's in the gang.
Cool. So from that, we can work out what the molar mass of these molecules is. The molar mass is just the atomic masses added together.
So yeah, so I've got 10 O's. That's 160. I've got 4 P's. So that's 120 plus 4.97's. 123.88. Add 160. 283. 0.88. So that's the molar mass of P4010.
Yep.
Is that in grams?
Well, 1 mole of that would be that many grams. At the moment, it's just the molar mass. That's just what it is. But if you were to have 1 mole of it, then yeah, it would be in grams.
Okay. So,
But you've got a kilogram of it.
yeah. So what does that mean? What am I doing?
You're trying to work out how much water we need
Fuck
to
off!
react with all of this.
Oh!
No, you're doing super well. You're doing super well. So you've got how much 1 mole weighs.
Yeah. What's a
Yeah.
mole got to do with a kilogram?
Well, if 1 mole weighs
Don't
like
grit
280
your teeth.
I didn't. My mouth was open. If 1 mole weighs 280, it's quite a simple sum to work out what a kilogram's got to do with a mole.
So am I trying to work out how many moles in a kilogram?
I'd say that was the logical first step, yeah.
Okay. So if I do 1,000 divided by 283.88, so it's 3.5 moles to the kilogram.
Nice. Okay, so we've got 3.5 moles of P4010 there.
Okay.
So you've got the equation in front of you. The equation is P4010 plus 6 H2O.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm floundering, Ron. I'm floundering.
So what does that tell you about the relationship between how much P4010 you need and how much water you need?
I've got no idea. I've genuinely got no idea.
Well, like, think about it for a bit.
I've got 3.5 moles of P4010.
Think about it like a recipe. Imagine if like this was a cake recipe and it was like 1 cup of flour plus 6 cups of salt. But then you had 3.5 cups of flour. How much salt would you need to put in?
Do I need to make the water up to a kilogram as well? Do they both need to be a kilogram?
No. For every 1 P4010,
Yeah.
you need 6 water molecules.
Do I?
Yeah, P4010 plus 6 H2O equals...
So how many
the chemical
P4? I've only got 1 P4010 though, because that's not. It's not like 2 P4010.
No, you've got 3.5 moles of it.
So 21 moles of 6H2O?
Exactly, yeah. For every 1 mole of P4010, you need 6 moles of water.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we need 21 moles of water. How much would that weigh?
Oh, I can do that. Okay. 18.016 times 6 equals 108. Let's call that. No, I won't round it actually. Multiply it by 21. Oh, that feels like a lot. 2,270.016 kilograms.
So 2.2 litres, basically.
Is it?
Yeah, because that would be in grams.
Why would that
Or
be in
millilitres.
grams?
Because that's how moles work.
Oh my god, I hate this. I actually feel
So, yeah.
fizzy in my fingers because of how out of place I feel.
Yeah, so about 2 kilograms of water, which is going to be about 2 litres, a bit more then.
Sure, yeah. About 2.25.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Well, I think we tested your knowledge slightly.
Is that,
Yeah,
that,
well, you can.
do I get- do I-
You can
ding,
have a mark for that. Yeah,
ding,
yeah, that's a mark.
ding. Feels like a bit of a damp squib end.
Yeah, well, to be honest, yeah, I wasn't expecting that to be quite the Herculean challenge that it was.
I just didn't really know what we were doing. All right.
I think sometimes you put this in a little box and you've written in crayon on that box science, and you don't get what's in the box, even though if it wasn't in the box, you would.
I think until you said that, it didn't really occur to me that equation meant for every one of those I need 6 of something else. I hadn't thought of it like that before.
Yeah,
So
but that's
I didn't
kind of what I
really-
mean, is like, because I feel like you're not seeing this as something actually happening. You're seeing this as something annoying that I'm telling you.
Because
Whereas
it's not
this
happening,
is
is it?
this is happening.
But it's not, is it?
It is.
Yeah, in like...
Physically, literally,
Sun,
for every
not
P4O10
here.
molecule, I really should have learned, is that phosphorus oxide? For every phosphorus oxide molecule, you need 6 water molecules to react with it. That's a real thing that happens.
But to make what? What is 4H3PO?
Phosphoric acid.
Well, I'm never going to make that.
No? You're never going to do any of this.
Yeah, so
You're a
It's
comedian.
not real.
It is real. Just because you don't do it, this is some Trumpian logic of like, I got my guns and I got my beer. Don't need none of that science.
I love that. Yeah, I find myself frustrated that you said, like, you've got a kilogram of this, go. And honestly, like, some shutters of panic come down and just go, what is he talking about? Hit him.
But you worked it all out. I didn't really prompt you that much.
Yeah, but I still don't really understand what I've worked out.
You've worked out how much water you'd need.
If I had a kilogram of phosphorus
oxide,
I now know how much water I would need to make phosphoric acid.
Yeah. So, for example, yes, okay, this was a reaction that I got off the internet, and then I said if you had a kilogram, blah, blah, blah. But if someone is, like, working on drug trials or something, they would need to know exactly how much they need to react with something else so that it's all used up. Things like... Yeah, any kind of equation, you might not want one of the, what you quite often do in science experiments is you'll just have an excess of both things, right? Because then you know that even if it's not 100% efficient, you're going to get everything that you need. There are certain reactions, and especially ones in like biochemistry, where you might not want extra hanging around because it's got to be in a population with like living things. So yeah, you've got to work out how much you need to react exactly with something else.
Yeah. And I worked it out by breaking down the individual weight of the molecule, then whatever that molecule weighed is called 1 mole of it. Then I worked out how many moles made a kilogram.
Yeah, because a mole is just like, that's just the number that links sort of the molar mass and the gram mass of it.
So I did
That's
that.
just sort of like the multiplier to convert those two
I worked
things.
out that it was 3.5 to a kilogram. And then I worked out how much... Then what did I do? Then I worked out how much water made a kilogram. Did I do that?
No, you worked out how many moles of water we needed. Then you worked out how much that many moles of water would weigh.
Yeah, well done, me. All right. Well, there we go. They've heard the quiz now, Ron. How do you think that went?
Can't remember, I don't know. That was the quiz.
Sorry about this episode, listeners. We will
Welcome
do our
back.
best to never have to do a redo ever again for everyone's sake. Just for everyone, really.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Ron is really angry with me. And if you go back in time now and listen, no, it's not back in time.
No.
It's next week.
If you continue on your slow trundle towards death, in 2 weeks, you'll get to hear episode 31.
And 30. We're about to do the intro for 30.
Are we doing both?
Well, why would we do an intro for 31 and not do it for 30?
I thought we'd already done 30.
We haven't.
I haven't listened to episode 30. I don't know what happens.
Well, your dedication to this podcast is really waning.
That's...
You're not even sitting near your microphone. No one can hear you. Anyway.
I just tried to teach you what a mole is for an hour and a half.
I know what a mole is. It's just a made-up number thing that makes a gram is that number. Anyway, thanks for listening.
This is why we shouldn't do higher tier only content.
Why the fuck would you even try that?
Because honestly, I thought moles was interesting. I thought you'd enjoy it.
Why?
I know now. I've taught you it fucking twice.
Well, you haven't. You've tried to. It's not actually been taught. Anyway.
Next week, we're going to just do Arthur Christmas, I think. Let's just do the science of Arthur Christmas.
Just every episode is the end of term.
New podcast, Lexx Christmas Films.
Yeah. Anyway, Happy New Year, listeners. Thanks for listening. We hope that you're getting back into real life is treating you well. We're going to go and record the intro for next week now. Be prepared for grumpiness. We love you, listeners. Goodbye.
Cluster Smash, get out of here.